I had previously talked about rapper Vanilla Ice and the time he dipped his toe into metal in the late 90s, but he wasn't the only artist to change their sound drastically, as a member of the Backstreet Boys adopted an alter ego in the year 2000, creating a pretty weird backstory. That's what we're going to discuss in today's video. The Backstreet Boys were without a doubt one of the biggest musical acts of the late 90s and early 2000s. Boy bands always seem to have a manufactured persona for each of their members, and the so-called wild one in the Backstreet Boys was McLean. In 2000, while taking a break from the Backstreet Boys, he created a character named Johnny Suede, which was taken from a jacket he had seen on tour with the Backstreet Boys. Johnny had a pretty complicated backstory. He was a British man hailing from Nashville that spent time in prison for a crime he didn't commit. The character also shared some similarities with AJ, with both being raised by single mothers and grandparents, and Johnny Suede also suffered from juvenile diabetes that, strangely enough, also afflicted his dog. The character allowed McLean to revisit his love of acting, something he was into before joining the Backstreet Boys. After a few tour dates, McLean and his camp became aware that Johnny Suede was a copyrighted character from a 1992 Brad Pitt film, so they had to change the character's name to Johnny No Name. Johnny No Name would perform a string of cover tunes in concert by Rage Against the Machine, Tonic, Stone Temple Pilots, and George Thorogood. Johnny No Name would be backed up by most of the same musicians who supported the Backstreet Boys on tour. He'd even sometimes bring out a two-string guitar on stage while performing a cover of the song Bad to the Bone. The Johnny No Name project was done to raise money for charity. The character was created in conjunction with VH1's Save the Music Foundation, which helps keep music education in schools, and the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Johnny No Name's concerts would see a man wearing a t-shirt saying police, leading the singer on stage in handcuffs before removing the restraints. The end of the show would see the same policeman handcuffing the singer and taking him off stage. McLean would explain during a press conference for his new project that his alter ego is only allowed out of prison to perform at concerts, saying, and I quote, "He's on constant probation. Every time he does his solo show, he gets off his probation, and then at the end of the show, he goes back to jail. I don't know what he does, but he's always in trouble," he'd say. Here's a head-scratching interview with McLean during an interview he gave to MTV, where you can hear that British accent.
Now, does Johnny get the same kind of fanatic fan base that AJ does? Is there screaming? Is there this nodding from the back here? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's lots of screaming, lots of craziness, you know. Take it from him, you know. He's
wild, crazy.
Wild and crazy, yeah, right.
Panties?
Actually, a lot more panties than you know, Backstreet gets. I get all the good panties.
Johnny gets more panties?
I get more thongs. You know? I get the thongs, the thong. That's what I get. I get a lot more thongs. Everyone gets the wide back. I get all the thongs, man.
MTV would report that it was pretty common for Johnny No Name to tell audiences at shows, "This is the first time I've been to Los Angeles and it's quite nice." Also included as part of the set would be a few Backstreet Boys tunes and some guest appearances from the Backstreet Boys themselves. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories.